Yeah, we back in here. Welcome back to another video. It's your boy Corey the Man. Appreciate everybody for getting in here. Yeah, man. It was confirmed by Game Rants, bro. Game Rants. That's the gaming. They know they post everything gaming. So if they said something about it, it's got to be true. I'm excited to see what they talking about. This video is a whole 17 minutes. I don't really care about times. As long as it's not 30 or 40 minutes. Anyways, let's get into it.
Hey folks, today is Friday, May 15th, 2025. As usual, my name is Jake Baldino, here to talk about all the video game news that has been going on this week. Before you comment, editor's note, I got the date wrong. We're just dropping this in. I said May 15th, it's May 16th. Why do I always do that? Why do I always mess it up? It's like I have one job. Anyway, today is May 16th if you're watching. Back to me. A lot of stuff, a lot of leaks and rumors and weird things. So we'll jump right into the first thing. A possible rumor, again, take this with a grain of salt, I always say, but a rumor suggesting that we might be getting a Grand Theft Auto 4 re-release. I'll link all the sources in the description down below. Here, Rockstar Intel is reporting that this guy who's gotten things right in the past by the name of Tez2 in the community, I think I'm saying his name right, suggests that a Grand Theft Auto 4 remaster could release this year, citing some sources that he has internally. Look, there's no way of knowing for sure. I would absolutely love to see a Grand Theft Auto 4 re-release or remaster because, you know, on PC, it's okay. Like, some modders have fixed a lot of things, but on console, it's a little iffy. It's hard to access. So I think, you know, making it more available to people would be good, but it almost sounds like too good to be true. I don't know. Grand Theft Auto 4 at this point, to me, feels like the dark horse for Rockstar, and I don't know if they'd just be like really up, like ready to just throw that out there right before Grand Theft Auto 6. Again, personally, I have a lot of love in that game in my heart. As a person from the New York area, I think they captured New York at a very specific time period very, very well. I would love for more people to see it. A lot of people haven't played it. A lot of younger people only just got in with Grand Theft Auto 5, which is crazy to say out loud, but that is the case. So could we end up with this at some point? Maybe. I don't know. A lot of people are saying, well, like, oh, well, because Grand Theft Auto 6 is now pushed to 2026, they need something in the meantime. So it's a likely move. I just hope if they do end up doing it, and again, I don't know if this is going to happen. I don't know how much I believe this one, but if it does happen, I hope it's done and it gets the proper care it deserves. You know, the GTA trilogy remaster thing we talked about a million times over, that released Undercooked. Hopefully this turns out better, if it is a thing. That's if it even is a thing. Do you guys think it's real? Let me know in the comments. There's been a bunch of other Rockstar things floating around. Briefly, a rumor suggesting that a Max Payne 3 port to modern consoles might also be a thing just in time for the Max Payne 1 and 2 re-release. I don't know for sure about that one because, again, it's another game. It's kind of like a little bit of a dark horse for Rockstar, so who knows? Then another rumor suggesting that Red Dead Redemption 2 could be coming to Nintendo Switch 2. None of this stuff is confirmed at all. It's just kind of a roundup of things flying around out there on the internet. If you saw the headlines and thought it was all instantly confirmed, it's not. We just have to wait and see if any of this even turns out to be real. It is worth pointing out, though, if we're talking about Rockstar stuff, right? Grand Theft Auto 6, the newest update is that apparently, according to Take-Two, the game has been in the works for some time. The big quote here is that GTA 6 development began in earnest in 2020, which is, you know, when you look at when Rockstar is releasing Grand Theft Auto 6, it is a very long period of time, but maybe not as long as people expected. You know, a lot of people just assume that they've been working on this since Grand Theft Auto 5, but, you know, Red Dead Redemption 2 was a big thing, and they cite the success of that game also. I think the whole phrase "in earnest" suggests that's when hard development really started. They could have been in pre-production for years before that. The planning phases, the building up, the gathering of all, you know. So 2020 seems to be the date. Somebody else had thrown out 2018, so this is like Take-Two, I guess, more officially clarifying. In an earnings report, and again, Rockstar released Red Dead Redemption 2 in 2018, so you could assume that maybe it started kind of bubbling up more there, but either way, who cares? I don't care how long it takes to make. Just I hope it's good when it does inevitably finally release. And speaking of like the release dates changing and stuff, Ubisoft has delayed a bunch of massive games. It seems like Ubisoft is doubling down on delaying all their big tentpole franchises to really get them right. This comes from their most recent earnings call thing. In their financial report, they said that they are delaying some of our biggest productions, end quote. They didn't specify what games exactly, but you know, there's always so many Ubisoft games on the horizon. It's pretty easy to assume what they could potentially be. Something Division related, but more importantly, of course, the Prince of Persia remake that kind of disappeared. The Splinter Cell remake that kind of disappeared was announced, and then that was it. Not to mention things like, of course, Assassin's Creed, the next Assassin's Creed title. I think that's safe. And then Far Cry. There's been rumors and rumblings of another Far Cry in the works for quite some time, but it might be much longer until we actually see it. According to this financial report, and again, like it's them talking to shareholders and stuff, right? So whatever. But they are saying that they anticipate strong game releases for fiscal years 2026, 2027, and then 2027, 2028. So that's coming from them. Good reporting from MP First there, linked in the description if you want to check it out. But yeah, I think it's good because they specifically said in this financial report that they have learned from Assassin's Creed Shadows. They gave Assassin's Creed Shadows, of course, a ton more time. The initial release date was way earlier, and they kept pushing and pushing and pushing the game. And even though it released and I still personally didn't love it too much, you know, I'm very picky and I'm very hard on Assassin's Creed games, but for the general public, it seems like it worked out. This one did sell a lot. It seems like it was a win for the company. So at the very least, they're looking at this and going, okay,
you got to cater to your own crowd.
Maybe crazy idea. Maybe we shouldn't rush our shit. So that's good. I think that's a positive. Community feedback and sentiment and purchasing power actually showing the companies that they should change things up. So hopefully this actually works out for them, and their games that they release are awesome. I know, like, it's fun to hate on Ubisoft, and I get it, but I still, at the end of the day, just root for good games releasing rather than bad games releasing, because I just want to play more stuff.
Next up, this video is sponsored by Displate. What's Displate, you ask? Where have you been, man?
We don't care about this whole...
Next up, speaking of those delays, we also got a delay for Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra. This is essentially the Captain America and OG Black Panther go to World War II and do cool shit. This game was so 100% up my alley because of the setting, the source material it's based on, as a comic book person, as a Captain America person, really, and also that Amy Hennig was helming it. You know, she had been behind
Black Panther
you know,
game
the Legacy of Kain games, and of course the Uncharted series. So a lot of legendary weight behind this one. Apparently it was slated for the end of 2025, and I never really thought that was going to be a thing, but yeah, now it's pushed to earlier 2026. Next up, last week I brought you guys a little hands-on preview of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 that I played. Another hands-on preview I got for you this week briefly is for Remedy's FBC Firebreak. I got hands-on with Remedy's new game, and I specifically wanted to try it because it's very different for Remedy. It's a multiplayer game. It's like a co-op multiplayer shooter set in the world and vibe of Control. That's very weird. I didn't expect that. So I went in, totally just wanted to see what they're doing, and I came away pretty impressed. This game stays in its lane. It knows what it is, right? It's multiplayer for people that also like Remedy games and Control and stuff like that. And it's multiplayer for someone who, to me, it feels like for someone who's tired of just like endless grinding and battle passes and stuff like that. This is just a multiplayer game you pick up, you play with your friends. Essentially, you work as people, kind of like a cleanup crew in the oldest house, and you're tasked with running around, shooting and fending off all types of weird monsters and stuff like that, and hiss creatures, but also fixing shit. So everybody has their own different little unique skills and tool sets that help them in combat, but more importantly, helps them with fixing things. And what that leads to is a lot of chaos and a lot of teamwork and a lot of screwing up and accidentally setting each other on fire or getting sucked in a vent. And it has a little bit of like a comedic aspect to it with some of the dialogue, but it feels like it's not overly forced, and moment to moment play is just really fun. Things start off creepy, you have your flashlights, and then things slowly escalate into chaos. It seems like a really, really good hybrid. Also, talking to the developers, a good hybrid between inspirations like Left 4 Dead, of course, with like hordes of creatures and just the way levels progress.
We try and do everything
with
like
some of like the goofy, wacky antics and chaos of something like Helldivers, of course,
like
with like, you know, some
it
kind
is.
of Steam
I was just saying,
PC game vibes, like a Deep Rock Galactic. And I say that specifically because I think this game probably will find an audience specifically on Steam that will love it. It feels like the early days of a Deep Rock, where like it just kind of slowly started creeping up the Steam list as it found a good co-op community. This seems like a co-op shooter with a different spin, with some Remedy stuff, lots of Easter eggs trickled in throughout. It seems like there isn't a story here to like beat you over the head. It's more about just jumping in, collecting, playing, and the biggest thing, again, it's a company that makes single player games, pivoting to a multiplayer game. It didn't feel cynical. It didn't feel like, oh well, we gotta make one of these because money, right? Like it felt like they're doing it a little bit more thoughtfully, which I appreciate. Again, I played a work in progress version. I only got to play like a few levels, but I like where they were going with this. We have to see how they nail the full launch, of course, so don't take this as a full review or anything. Just kind of like a, hey, if you're interested in this type of game, maybe keep your eye on it. In terms of other things going on this week, Doom The Dark Ages is out. I really like this one. I actually ended up liking it more than I expected. So we did the before you buy. That is linked in the description down below. I also did another video on my channel. I went into it a little bit more in depth.
I was just thinking of this.
Also, don't miss new Soulframe gameplay. I've been keeping my eye on this as somebody who wanted to get into Warframe, but now I feel like it's just too late. This is their next game. And a lot of criticism has been levied towards the combat in the past when they revealed this game. It does seem like combat is getting better with this new gameplay trailer.
No, it's after you buy.
Also, don't miss Stalker Legends of the Zone. It's getting like this whole update, right? So May 20th, you're going to be able to access and play the original Stalker games, but completely updated.
Some of this stuff already came out.
New visuals and stuff like that. And I just didn't expect this. I think this is a nice bonus, a really nice cherry on top to the whole meal that has been the Stalker franchise recently. Also, interestingly enough, Jade Raymond, like famed video game producer, she was behind some of the Far Cry games, the original like Assassin's Creed 2, had founded a studio with PlayStation Studios, right? Haven Studios. They're making that like live service game that I don't care about. What's it called? The game called Fair Games. This was already announced. It had a $sign in the name. Apparently that's been taken out. But Jade Raymond has left this studio. She helped found it, and then it was sold to Sony in, I believe, 2022. And we don't know what really the state of the game is or anything like that. So small update, leadership change, significant leadership, of course, at the helm. But for now, that's that. Well, a cooler update, I think something a little more exciting, is Kingdom Hearts 4. Like, I forgot that was a thing, but they're making another Kingdom Hearts. That's right, they're doing it again. I thought 3 was the end, but yeah, that was announced a while ago. It had a trailer years ago that was dissected like crazy, but they just put out a little image with like kind of like a bunch of little screenshots. So there you go.
I'm guessing it's
Hearts 4 still exists. It looks like playable Mickey if you kind of zoom in a little bit. I don't know what's going on here, but Kingdom Hearts fans are excited, and I am excited for them. Disney just a little morsel, just a little nugget, just something to chew on. I guess that goes a long way for some people. Just to know that it still exists and it's still being worked on. And in other news, the kids made Darth Vader say, I'm serious. This is a real thing. So pardon my French, but Fortnite has added a bunch of Star Wars stuff recently, of course. And what they have just recently added is a Darth Vader that you can chat with like an AI chatbot thing. It's James Earl Jones' voice in an AI model. James Earl Jones' family and him before he died apparently signed off on all this, his voice living forever. And you could talk to it and it'll do AI stuff to respond interesting, like in a compelling way. And people got it to say almost immediately. And the Fortnite Epic, they did apparently update this and fix this like right away. But I think Darth Vader should say it's like a dark side thing, right? But this is weird. I cry for Star Wars in a lot of ways, but I don't know, whatever. I want to know what you think about Darth Vader being somebody you can just chat with in a video game like Fortnite. Either way, I just think it was kind of funny, so I wanted to share. But last but certainly not least,
I think
Tony Hawk has been in the press recently, of course, talking about Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 remastered coming out soon. He did also acknowledge Tony Hawk's Underground for people. He did say that he will lobby as hard as he can to get it made, but he said that there are smarter people than him in charge and involved with this stuff, so we may never see it, but there is hope because the guy whose name on the box does want it to get remade or re-released or something. I don't know. I feel like we're lucky that we even got 3 and 4. Like, it felt like it was just such a struggle to get that. I don't know for sure if we're ever going to see a Thug remaster or re-release, but either way, I will say if you're on PC or you might be able to run this even if you're not like a hardcore PC person, but Thug Pro is something that the community has put together. Look it up.
It was on PS3
it's really fun.
too.
Either way, I think that's all the video game news I got for you this week. I've been yapping quite a bit, so let me know in the comments what you think about everything we talked about.
Well, yeah. Appreciate y'all for watching. We'll see y'all in the next video. Y'all stay tuned, and we out of here.